Welcome to Man's Man Monday, a production of the James McGee Show, where it's okay to be masculine, it's okay to be tough, and it's okay to be, well, be a man. Be a man. Join your host, James McGee, on discussions what a man should be and put an end to the toxic masculinity movement.
Welcome back to the James McGee Show. I am your host. I am James McGee. So a few days before my recent trip to Washington, D.C., I read that a friend of mine's son died. And the funeral was while we were in Washington, D.C., and I was unable to make the funeral. His mom is a dear friend of mine, wonderful lady. And of course, my heart was broken for her. Well, this past Friday, she is a local news anchor, reporter, pretty much has done everything in the news world in my area. Just absolutely the best our area has ever had. Well, she did a story this past Friday, how brave she was to do that, and told everyone that her son took his own life. So I don't know his story, and this is not my purpose today. I don't know really what happened. I invite her to come and tell his story and tell her story anytime that she wants on this show. She has definitely has a open invitation to do that. But it has motivated me on Mondays we talk about men being a man, and it has motivated me to talk about suicide. So I'm not an expert in suicide. I am not a doctor. I'm not a counselor. But what I am is I'm a man, and I've been a man for 54 years. I have been a man long enough to tell you and to um, definitely give an educated opinion on this. Being a man is hard. Being a man is hard. It's very hard. When it comes to the subject of suicide, in my opinion, there are two types of men. Men who have thought about suicide and men who lied about ever having thoughts of suicide. Now, some more than others. Some have really probably contemplated it and maybe even attempted it. But there isn't a man out there who hasn't had that thought at least once in their life. Man, I don't do this anymore. It's hard. So, like I said, I don't know his story, but by all account, he was a man's man. He was a great son, had great kids, had a great life. But we don't know people's struggles. Many times when you hear someone committed suicide, you hear the phrase, man, they had demons. Well, that usually associates with drug problem, gambling problem, living a secret life, maybe committed crimes, maybe got caught, didn't want to face their consequences. But more than people have demons, every man has struggles. And from what I could tell through his mother's story, he didn't have demons, he had struggles. Because being a man is hard. The pressure of providing, of living up to your own expectations is hard. And every man goes through it. Every man does. I did a show last year with my son and his struggles, and we talked about suicide. It is suicide's real, and it is a struggle that every man goes through. So my prayers goes out to my friend, and again, she has an open invitation to come on this show. She is an absolute just princess of a lady, wonderful person, and I love her. And my I don't even know what to say of what she is going through. But what I want to do today is talk to all the men out there who share the struggles that I have, that my friend's son had. Because again, I'm going to say, and I'm probably going to say it more, being a man is hard. Being a man is really, really hard. Sometimes you just want to just give up. Just, man, I just don't want to do this anymore. So what do we do? Like I said, I'm not a counselor. I'm not a doctor. I have absolutely no formal education in any of this. But again, I've lived it. And I can tell you from personal experiences that, one time, and I talked about this in my last show, that I was on top of the world. Well, let me tell you, that's something that a lot of times, we're on top of the world and our life is just amazing. All of a sudden, we just get knocked off that mountain. Now, me, not everybody's like me. I didn't just get knocked off. I got thrown off. It wasn't a gradual decline. It was a complete 10,000 feet. I was 10,000 feet high. All of a sudden, 2 seconds later, I'm zero. And there I am at the bottom. But what I had to do is remember that I made it to the top one day. I made it to the top. There was something that made me make it. There was something there of a reason why I made it. Now, there's a reason why I fell down too, but I had to focus on the reason why I made it. And if I made it then, I could make it again. What about the people that never made it? What about the people who just doesn't have it in them? Doesn't have it, can't be successful, isn't successful, can't get out of their own way. But I had to look at, hey, you had something special. You were something special because you did the things that it took to make it to the top. So don't focus on the bottom, focus on the top, because you can absolutely make it again. And for anyone that is out there contemplating suicide, and you hear this is the one thing that I'd like for you to do for yourself, for your family, for the people that love you, because people absolutely do love you. Hang in there one more day. Hang in there for one more day. If you're thinking about it today, just tell yourself, I'm hanging there one more day. Then tomorrow, when you wake up, I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm hanging there one more day. The next day, when you wake up, I want you to look in the mirror and say, I'm going to hang in there one more day. Because what's going to happen is those problems, what is giving you those thoughts, they're going to get a little bit easier. You're going to start addressing them. And one more day. And what's going to happen is eventually those problems are going to be non-existent. And another thing I have learned as a man is that the bill is going to come. Think about when you let your actual bills mount up, what happens? You get behind on your bills. You get overwhelmed. So one thing that I learned in life is that the bill's coming. You're going to pay the bill eventually. So address the issues that you have in life. Don't let them mount up, whether they're self-induced or not. Maybe you're living a certain way that you need to change the way that you are living. Because I promise you, the mistakes that you have, you might be getting away with them now, but the bills are going to come. When that bill comes, make sure that you have the capital to pay for it. And you don't get overwhelmed at one time, and all the bills that you have been deferring your whole life don't pile on you, because it's going to make it that much harder to pay them. And that's when you just, as a man, you're like, man, I just don't want to do this anymore. So whether it's relationships, whether it is your fitness, your health, you need to get healthier, whatever it needs to do, address those small debts before they pile up and become large debts. And the bills pile up on you. And you feel like you just can't pay them, and you're never going to get out of the hole that you're in. So again, I don't know my friend's son's story. I don't know none of the stuff that I said. They pertain to him. I'm speaking in general, but it is on my heart because of what my friend and her family is going through. It is on my heart to say these things. And again, just give it one more day. Just one more day. Look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm hanging there one more day. So to my friend, I love you, praying for you. And again, you are welcome to come here anytime when you are ready to tell your story and your son's story. And so again, I'm going to say it one more time. Now, this goes for women too, but it's Man's Man Monday and how passionate I am about men. My brother's hanging there one more day. McGee is out.